Hi, let's learn Haydn's Allegro Scherzando. Allegro is the tempo indication, as most of you know. It means fast and happy. The word scherzando means with humor or playful manner. So this is a charming little piece that's rather fast with lots of staccatos and just the right amount of fun slurs. The two note slurs are prevalent in this piece, and it is in the key of F major with one flat. So keep that in mind. There's quite a bit of staccatos in this piece. Let's take a look at the first two lines. You can tell right off the bat it has staccato in the left hand and also in the right hand melody. You know, for these staccatos, because I'm planning ahead for when the speed's gonna be faster, even at the slower tempo, I'll probably pull my fingertips towards me, just like this, to articulate the crisp staccato rather than going up and down on the keys. Because if you move up and down on the keys, it's gonna slow you down, right? So to make it more rapid in the future, I'm going to be pulling right away. And take a look at where I put kind of highlighted with the red marker on the two note slurs. Like it opens with it, and it's at the second beat, right? So 1 and 2, down, up, right? And then look at the pickup to measure 3. It actually happens in both hands where you go down, up. So it's important that you have that down. So down, by down I mean the wrist will go down, and then up, wrist will go up, and then it will naturally shape it for you. And the first note will be louder of the two note slurs. Okay. There are rare cases where the second note of the two note slur is louder because it's emphasizing the downbeat. But in this case, even if the second note is on the downbeat, I'll make the first one louder, because that actually is more of a main note that initiates the phrase. Okay, so very first section is in 8 measure phrases, but then it's like a 4+4 kind of thing where they start a similar way but end differently. So it's a set, but there's 2 parts. So here's first 4 measures. I'll do it slowly. 1 and 2. Pull your fingertips. So that's 4 measures. Notice how there are actually 3 different, let me see. There's staccato, regular quarter note, slur, two note slur, and tenuto. There's 4 different articulation markings in the left hand alone. So in the first, we have staccato. I'm going to pull my fingertips and play them quietly because this is a classical piece and we need the left hand to be more of an accompanimental role. And the left hand is going to go down, do a little wrist circle going out for that quarter. 1 and 2, down, up, and crescendo and lead. So it's actually building up to measure 4 as indicated by the hairpin that's in 3 and 4. Let's try the first 4 measures again. 1 and 2. Down, up, and crescendo 2. Yeah. And I might actually even add pedal on, let's see, right here. Just a little dab to let those notes ring in measure 4. Okay, so let's try it slightly faster. 1 and 2 and dum dum. Hold off, down, up, crescendo, and it goes same way until here. So kind of the same, for the same reason that I have for the other one. I put a little pedal here. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, isn't it? Right here. Okay, on the 7th measure in the second half, so we have the emphasis. you know, it's high enough that even with the running 16 notes, you can pedal through that. And off, of course. Okay, so that's first two measures. I mean, first two lines. Excuse me. Okay, next little part starts with a Scherzando and also two note slur, just like the very beginning. And you can even put a little pedal to help with the Scherzando. Since there's a staccato marking on the downbeat of measure 9 on that D, I would probably play both of the Ds, you know, just to even though it kind of looks like a tie, I think it's actually a same note slur. And to make sure that since D, D cannot connect, that F sharp and G is connecting. So it's, once again, for every two note slur, my wrist is going down for the first and up, a release. So tension, release. So wrist will take care of that for you. Okay. And even though it's all piano, I put a little hairpin mark where you go out and do a diminuendo kind of a thing. And that so that you're inflecting within the piano. So let's try playing just the measure, pick up the measure 9 to measure 12. 1 and 2, down, up, and as if nothing happened. Surprise, the phrasing is the same way. And for those staccato notes, I'm pulling my fingertips rapidly. And there's a change in dynamic with pick up to measure 13. Where this is all two note slurs, right? So you're gonna emphasize down, up, down, up, down, up. First try that without the pedal, and then once you get the coordination, I would just go down on the first note with the pedal and up together. Make sure you don't have this kind of a mush, you know. Pedal is mainly here to enhance. You can actually play the whole thing without any pedal, given the time period. So let's do the pick up to measure 13 again. 1 and 2, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And actually it's a subito piano, isn't it? So we are getting louder, down, up, down, up, and as if nothing happened. And then crescendo again. Arrive back at mezzo forte. Okay, let's scroll up for the remaining of the page. And then you go pa-dum, pa-dum. There's a tenuto on the D and G, and it's actually a half note, so I'm going to use my arms to let the notes ring. So pick up the measure 17, pa-dum. So many two note slurs and echo. Make sure it's okay. Make sure it's softer on the second one. So if you take a look, I'll mark it in blue for now. So they're all doing this, and these all have to be separated, just like that in measure 17. And take a look at the left hand. Even that is actually a two note slur, so make sure the second one is less. Okay. So within the mezzo forte, going to piano, we have this echo version. Yeah, make sure that it's significantly softer. And then here's an example of a two note slur where the second one is actually louder. So I will circle it in red right now. It's because the second note is a down, not only is it a downbeat, but it's a longer note, a quarter note with an eighth note pickup. So in this case, I'll go and 1 like that. So it's actually the second one that receives an emphasis, you know, kind of like this. So down, up, to the right, to right, to right. So I'm going to use my arm weight to shape that. So it's going to be da-dee. Okay, let's see what comes next. Oh. Okay, and then we also had the third one would be the most, right? So this one would be the, I'll just put the plus. It would be the most. So far we started. And left hand's really light. Very, very light, weightless. Just pulling finger. So for extra ringing, you can actually add pedal on the downbeat. Pedal. And then piano. Building. Right? This is actually a transition material. So transitioning. Where did I put my pencil? Alright, transition back to the same day. Oh, that is a horrible writing, sorry. Transitioning back to the part that we had before, right? The very opening. So let's see how similar they are. Okay. So far it looks the same. Exactly the same, right? So then I can do the pedaling that I had in the opening right here. Okay, in measure 30. Yeah, so I will start the same way. And here's a different material. Go back down, two note slur though, down, up, and then dum bum 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 bum. Oh, excuse me, and then down, up, bum 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 bum. Left hand seems a little more tricky, so let's try left hand by itself. At measure, pick up to measure 30. It goes down, up, 2, 3, 5, and then you have to shift to 3, 3, 4, 5, 3, 2. Okay, I might do that a few times. Ta-dum, ta-dum, bum, bum, bum. I feel a cadence coming on. Let's see if that's true. Yes, there is a little cadence here. 5, 7 going to 1, and we'll put a pedal here. So pick up to measure 30. We have bottom crescendo. You know what? It really, the fingering, I don't think I like the book's fingering. I like 2 and then going to 3. So 2, 3 and 1, because then you can stay same for at least part of the time. So let me see, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes, that's more comfortable for me. It's up to you what you want to do. And then little recircle here, because not only is it an authentic cadence, 5, 7 to 1, this one is a little longer, right? Respecting the exact length of notes is so important in everything that we do, but especially important in classical era pieces, because we use minimal amount of pedal, so every note is so exposed. So, you know, I always tell my students that doing classical pieces well, it's kind of like wearing just a white shirt with blue jeans and no makeup, no hair done, and still looking really hot. And that's not easy to do. Yeah, some people are just born for it, but most are not. So anyway, make sure it's exact, and let's go on. So it's actually after a loud cadence. I'm gonna play from 33. Remember, this is a scherzando, humorous piece. It's kind of a quiet teasing, and then now it's loud again. They both start with 2 note split, right? And then you don't get to pause for this one. So let's see. right away. And echo. Now loud, long, even with the octave, and then 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah. I think for this piece, maybe, sorry, you keep tempo the whole time at the end. You know how sometimes we take time? Wait, let me see. So you go, let me start at measure 38. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Now octave and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Yeah. So go straight through, but maybe hold a note at the end just slightly longer. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. Just hold the last one slightly longer, you know, or you can do it in tempo. It's up to you. And there's a few options, so you can go just end it like that, or I can imagine delay slightly, so that's an option before the last chord. But my personal preference is just to go straight through, but maybe let the last one ring out just a tiny bit more, just to acknowledge it, and raise your arms for them. All right. Enjoy this piece. I would actually practice. I just went a general summary on all the different sections. A few things to watch out for. Two note slurs. Articulation differences. You know, where does the composer write staccato versus slurs versus nothing? There's actually a few accents. Because the sense of humor in this piece a lot of times comes from the dynamic changes. Pay attention to piano forte contrast. Actually, what I'm talking about probably applies to all our pieces, right? But extra important to be kind of looking for it in this one, and practice hands separately for the different articulations. We're just going through it really quickly. That doesn't mean, you know, that's how you will practice. Okay, here's a recording of me playing the entire Haydn Allegro Scherzando, except very under tempo at 66 quarter note. To keep us steady, I'll have our trusty assistant here counting off for us. Okay, ideally we reach about 120 for quarter note, but we are now trying it at 66.
1 and 2 and 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 1